Welcome to another deep dive. We're switching gears a bit today, focusing on those of you out there who are just starting your English speaking journey.
Yeah.
So if you're new to learning English,
Brand new.
this one's for you. We've got a whole stack of articles, research all about how to learn spoken English
Spoken English especially.
quickly and effectively.
Yeah, because there's a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
And it can be kind of overwhelming.
Absolutely. So we're going to try to pick out some of the best tips and tricks from all these different sources.
And one thing that really jumps out, looking at all this advice, is how much it emphasizes starting speaking as soon as possible.
Okay, let's unpack that a little bit.
Okay.
Why is speaking so important right from the beginning?
Well, one of the studies that we have here is from the University of Michigan.
Okay.
And they found that students who practice speaking, like right from day one,
Right away.
weren't just making faster progress,
Interesting.
but they were also building confidence and fluency much quicker.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Right, because language is all about communication.
Yeah.
So the more you actually use it, the more natural it becomes.
So it's kind of like jumping in the pool instead of just reading about how to swim.
Exactly. And there are so many ways to get that speaking practice in, even if you're not, living in an English-speaking country.
Right.
Like, what about finding a language exchange partner?
Oh, yeah.
Someone who wants to learn your native language.
And they can help you with English.
Exactly. And you can help them.
Let's swap.
Yeah. Or there are even online platforms like Preply
Mm-hmm.
that connect you with tutors for regular practice.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to remember, too, making mistakes is part of the process.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't let that fear of getting something wrong hold you back.
Like, that's one of the things that the source has really emphasized,
Yeah.
is that embracing your mistakes is one of the fastest ways to learn.
Yeah, you're going to make mistakes.
Totally.
And that's how you learn.
Now, another powerful concept that comes up a lot in these materials is this idea of immersion.
Okay.
So basically surrounding yourself with the English language as much as possible.
So like even more than just watching English movies.
Right. It's about making English a part of your daily life.
Part of your everyday life.
Like, one of the articles had this great tip.
Okay.
Change your phone and social media settings to English.
Oh.
You're already on those platforms all the time,
Right.
so why not make them work for you? You'll subconsciously pick up new words and phrases just by navigating through menus
Oh, that's smart.
and reading posts and stuff.
That's a really good idea. Like you're passively learning
Passively learning
while you scroll.
while you're scrolling, yeah.
Now, what about actively building vocabulary? Because I know a lot of new learners, I think they get overwhelmed with trying to memorize every word in the dictionary.
Right, it feels impossible.
Yeah.
But here's the good news.
Okay.
You don't need to know thousands of words to hold a conversation.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. One of the articles from the Preply blog highlighted this.
Okay.
Fascinating fact, just 800 of the most common English words
800.
will let you understand about 75% of everyday conversations.
Oh, wow. So that feels much more manageable.
Much more manageable.
Okay.
So the sources suggest some really helpful methods for learning those core words.
All right, let's hear them.
Okay, so first of all, flashcards.
Flashcards.
Like apps like Memrise, Quizlet, Anki.
I love flashcards.
Yeah, there's something satisfying about using flashcards.
Totally. And they use spaced repetition, right?
Right, which helps you remember words more effectively.
Yeah.
It's a really good method.
What else did the sources recommend?
Okay, another classic technique is keeping a vocabulary journal.
Oh, yeah.
So when you encounter a new word,
Mm-hmm.
write it down in a notebook with its definition and like an example sentence.
It's like creating your own personal dictionary.
Yeah, exactly. And here's a fun one.
Okay.
Label everyday objects around your house with their English names. So instead of just seeing a door, you'll see door written on a sticky note.
I like that.
It's a simple visual reminder that
Yeah.
can really help solidify those words in your memory.
And it turns your home into a giant English learning playground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. One thing that really stood out to me from these sources is the importance of active learning.
Okay.
It's not just about passively absorbing information.
Right.
It's about engaging with the language.
So tell me more about active learning. What does that actually look like in practice?
Okay, so one technique that's gaining popularity
Okay.
is called sentence mining.
Sentence mining.
Have you heard of that?
I think so.
So instead of just memorizing individual words,
Okay.
you learn entire sentences
Oh.
that contain those words.
Okay.
So it helps you understand the context
Yeah.
and the nuances of how words are used.
So instead of just learning the word happy,
Yeah,
I might learn the sentence, I'm happy because I passed my English test.
Exactly. And the Preply article suggests keeping a dedicated notebook just for your mind sentences,
Interesting.
so you can go back and review them.
Right.
And even try using them
Yeah.
in your own writing or speaking practice.
It's like building a collection of useful phrases that you can pull from.
Exactly. Now, another active learning tip
Okay.
that I found really fascinating was this.
Okay.
Try listening to native English speakers attempting to speak your native language.
Wait, why would I do that?
It's all about perspective.
Okay.
By listening to their struggles
Mm-hmm.
with grammar and pronunciation,
Okay.
you can gain insights into the potential challenges
Interesting.
that you might face when learning English.
Like the mistakes they're making.
Yeah, it highlights the areas where the two languages differ,
Okay.
which can be really helpful for
How do we-
understanding those tricky grammar rules.
It's like seeing English through a new lens.
Exactly. Now let's talk about a challenge
Yep.
that many new English speakers face: pronunciation. And the sources offer some really fantastic techniques for getting those sounds just right.
I'm ready. Let's hear it. How do we tackle these tricky sounds?
All right, so one highly effective technique is called shadowing.
Shadowing.
Yeah. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it. I don't know if I've ever tried it.
So you basically listen to a native English speaker
Okay.
and try to imitate them
Okay.
as closely as possible.
Like their intonation.
Their intonation, their rhythm, even their pauses.
So I'm like their vocal shadow.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
might feel a little awkward at first,
Right.
but it's incredible for developing your pronunciation and fluency.
Cool.
The sources also suggest practicing tongue twisters,
Oh, yeah.
which can be a fun way to target specific sounds.
Hit me with one.
All right, how about this classic?
Okay.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Oh, yeah.
The shells she sells are seashells, I'm sure.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah.
Wow, that's harder than it looks. I can see how practicing those would help.
Yeah, it trains your tongue
Yeah.
to make those sounds.
And don't forget about the power of music.
Oh, yeah.
Singing along to English songs.
Absolutely.
It's another great way, I think, to improve your pronunciation.
It's fun, too.
Yeah, it is.
So you're more likely to stick with it.
And you pick up on that natural rhythm and intonation.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered a lot of traditional learning methods, but what about technology?
Oh, yeah.
I know there are tons of apps and online resources out there
Well, many.
for language learners.
Yes. What do the sources say about that?
Well, they highlight some fantastic options
Okay.
that can really accelerate your progress.
Okay.
So for starters, there are comprehensive language learning apps
Mm.
and online courses.
Right.
And one source specifically recommended English Path.
English Path.
Yeah, they offer a really structured curriculum
Okay.
that covers everything from grammar to pronunciation.
So it's like having a custom-made English course.
Yeah.
Right in your pocket. Exactly. And then there's the power of YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube's amazing.
It's an incredible resource for free English learning content.
I think that's one of the things that stood out to me too
Yeah.
from the sources is how much is available for free.
For free, yeah. Like there are channels like Jennifer ESL,
Mm-hmm.
which offers a whole course of video lessons on YouTube,
Wow.
and Bob the Canadian,
Okay.
who uses everyday situations to teach vocabulary and phrases.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah. And it's all free.
And then let's not forget about AI,
Oh, yeah.
because one source even suggested practicing your English storytelling skills with platforms like GPT-3.
That's right. So
Yeah.
imagine using AI
Whoa.
to create stories in English.
Okay.
It forces you to think creatively
Yeah.
and use your vocabulary
Right.
in new ways.
So how does that actually work?
So some platforms even allow you to share your stories with others
Oh, cool.
to get feedback,
Okay.
which can help you build confidence
Mhm.
before jumping into real-life conversations. That's a really innovative approach. I like that.
It can be fun and engaging.
Yeah.
Now, remember how we talked about the importance of finding a language exchange partner?
Yeah.
Well, technology can help with that too.
Oh, of course.
There are tons of apps and websites
Okay.
designed specifically for connecting language learners
Okay, cool.
from all over the world.
Like, what are some of the favorites that the sources mentioned?
Okay, so Tandem is one that came up a few times. It's like a social network for language learners.
Oh, fun.
You can find someone who wants to learn your native language,
Right.
and you can help each other.
It's like making friends and learning English at the same time.
Exactly. And it brings us back to the importance of community.
Yeah.
A lot of the sources emphasize that
Community.
surrounding yourself with a supportive network of fellow learners can make a huge difference
I bet.
in your language journey.
So it's not just about the grammar rules
Right.
and memorizing vocabulary.
It's about the social aspect.
Yeah, the emotional aspect of it.
Absolutely, because learning a language can feel overwhelming at times.
For sure.
So having people who understand your struggles
Yeah,
and can offer encouragement
right.
is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, like a support system.
Yeah, and online forums
Mm-hmm.
are another great place to connect with other learners, share
Mhm.
tips, ask questions.
It's like having a virtual support group
Exactly.
for English learners.
The English layers, yeah. I mean, we've covered so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
From like traditional methods like flashcards
Right.
and sentence mining to these innovative approaches.
Using AI,
Yeah,
changing your phone settings.
exactly. And it's amazing how many different paths there are
There really
to
are.
becoming a confident English speaker.
And I think that actually brings us to one of those important takeaways from all of these sources is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right. It's not about finding the magic formula.
Okay.
It's about figuring out
What works for you?
what works for you. Like, what are your strengths?
What do you enjoy doing?
Right. Are you a visual learner?
Exactly.
Auditory learner?
How do you learn best?
Yeah, one of the articles actually talked about thinking back to how you learned your native language.
Oh, that's so interesting
Yeah.
because it reminds us that we've all been successful language learners
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
We just need to tap into those same strategies
Right.
and kind of adapt them.
Adapt them to English.
Definitely.
So instead of getting overwhelmed with all the different methods,
Right.
just focus on finding the ones that really work for you.
And remember, consistency is key.
Yeah.
Like even dedicating just 15 minutes a day
It's not that much.
to practicing English can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the sources said it's like building a muscle.
Oh, yeah.
The more you use it,
The stronger it
the
gets.
stronger it becomes.
And speaking of muscles,
Yeah.
let's talk about training your ears
Okay.
because listening comprehension
Yes.
is a crucial
A
part.
huge part of becoming a fluent English speaker.
Yeah, the sources had some really practical advice for this too.
Okay.
They recommended listening to podcasts
Mm-hmm.
or YouTube channels that align with your interests.
So if you're passionate about cooking,
Yeah.
find a cooking show in English.
Yeah.
Or if you love history,
Right.
there are tons of history podcasts out there.
It turns learning into something enjoyable,
Yeah,
and it exposes you to different accents and speaking styles.
totally. And they also highlighted the benefits of watching movies and TV shows in English.
Yeah.
And you can start with subtitles
Mm-hmm.
in your native language,
Okay.
then gradually transition
To English subtitles.
to English subtitles as you get more comfortable.
Yeah. Friends was a popular recommendation
Oh, Friends.
because it's known for its simple dialogue.
Easy to understand.
Yeah. And there are also tools like the language learning with Netflix extension
Oh, yeah.
that allows you to watch with Google subtitles
That's so cool.
and even create flashcards
Wow.
from the vocabulary.
It's like having a personalized language lesson
Right.
built into your Netflix binge.
Exactly.
I have to say, like, throughout all these sources,
Yeah.
there is this one recurring theme
Okay.
that really resonated with me,
Okay, what's that?
and it's the importance of mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Approaching English learning with a positive attitude
Mm-hmm.
and a belief in yourself
Totally.
can make a world of difference.
It's not just about the techniques.
Right.
It's about the mental game.
Yeah. One source even talked about the power of positive self-talk.
Oh, interesting.
So instead of saying,
I'm bad at English.
yeah, try saying, I'm learning English and I'm making progress every day.
Like those affirmations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about celebrating those small wins
Yeah.
and focusing on the journey,
The journey.
not just the destination.
And remembering that making mistakes is part of the process.
Absolutely.
It's a sign that you're learning.
that you're pushing yourself
Right.
outside of your comfort zone
Embrace those mistakes.
as opportunities for growth.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of English learning,
Yeah.
what's one piece of advice you would give to our listeners who are just starting out?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say start speaking as soon as possible.
Hmm.
Find methods that you enjoy and surround yourself with a supportive community.
Yeah.
And most importantly, believe in yourself
I love that.
and your ability to achieve fluency.
It's a journey, but it's a rewarding one.
So well said. So for all of you listening out there, what is one small step you can take this week to move closer to your English speaking goals?
Think about it
Take action.
and enjoy the process.
Until next time, keep exploring
Keep learning.
and keep diving deep.